Hey everybody, hope this finds you doing well. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin and how low can it go and how close are we to the end of this bear market, or are we ever going to get out of this bear market? Let's go ahead and look at this cryptocurrency update. You can see crypto is pretty flat, at least with the top 10 cryptos over the past week or so. Bitcoin is trading at around $64,700. It was pretty much the same a week ago. Ethereum is up about 2.35%, currently trading at $1,912. You have XRP currently trading at $1.10. That's basically flat for the most part, nearly up 1%. Solana down nearly 1% at $75. Has pretty much stayed the same over the past 7 days. You have Hyperliquid that's down about 2.65%. It's just under $60 at $59. And Dogecoin, the largest meme coin of them all, is up 1%, currently trading at around 7 cents. So if we take a look at the Bitcoin chart, it's still in a downward trend. As you can see, we could potentially have a closing of a green candle for the month of July, and we still obviously have a few more days to see what happens there. Anything can happen, but we could potentially be seeing another leg up if we are able to finish in the green for the month of July. Now we're still looking at where could Bitcoin go from here. So we know that we had a low of around 58,000 or so far in this bear market in 2026, and many people in the crypto world and who follow Bitcoin closely and are more technical traders say that there's still a possibility that we can get down to around $50,000. You'll also hear others that are saying the bottom is already in, but we could be in this range for a while before we actually start making a move up if we continue to go along the 4-year cycle. We've talked about that in several videos. So if we do get down to 50,000, and the reason why they've chosen this number is because that was a bottom that we hit in 2024, and it also was a point of resistance back in 2022. So a lot of times from a technical standpoint, resistance can then become support, and that's basically what happened over a multi-year time frame, where around 50,000 was a resistance level, and then finally after we started in the bull market from 2023 on forward, it dipped down to that resistance level in 2024 and then continued up as we moved towards all-time highs at the end of 2025. So there's still a possibility that we can get down to this $50,000 level. Generally, if we're going by the 4-year cycle, Bitcoin still has a couple of more months to go. It usually lasts about a year from the all-time high, and that was in October of 2025. So we still could see some more downward movement before we get to October 2026. But obviously, there's a lot of other catalysts that could change the trajectory of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, particularly when it comes to the Clarity Act, which is still being negotiated, and different iterations are being moved back and forth at the Senate floor, and it would need to pass the Senate before it is then moved to the executive branch for signature and turned into law. So we're still waiting to find out if we're going to get some more clarity when it comes to the Clarity Act, which is going to provide a lot more information and clarity when it comes to how to designate different cryptocurrencies, as well as legislation on stable coins, etc., etc. So we are going to continue to keep you posted on that as well. So when we talk about how low can Bitcoin go and where have we come, how far have we come, when we look at the Bitcoin floor price, so far in 2026, it just reached below 58,000, and now if we look at the years prior, the last 10 years, you see mostly every single year the floor has gone up. So that's just continuing to show that over time Bitcoin continues to raise in value. We've obviously been reaching all-time highs every several years. We got up to 126,000 in 2025. So if we reach a bottom in 2026, could we potentially get back up to 126 and even further from that? If history is an indication, yes, that's possible. But obviously we don't know what the future holds. But if we look at the trend, it definitely looks like we could reach all-time highs again, maybe in the next couple of years. But if we look at the floor, it's going to show that over time we are starting to have a higher floor, which is great. And you can see pretty much every year we have had a higher floor. Now, there's been a couple exceptions. When you look at 2022, that was a major bear market. A lot of people believe that we may not have gone this low if it wasn't for the FTX debacle, Celsius going bankrupt, a couple of other companies also going bankrupt, and Terra Luna, everything that kind of happened in 2022 that caused a cascading effect, high leverage. So that could have also contributed to why we fell all the way down to around 16,000 in 2022. And then also we see in 2026 that we have gone below the floor in 2025 at around 58,000 when the floor in 2025 was 74,000. So could this be the next leg up? Will we ever see 50,000, 60,000 again after we get through this bear market? Who knows? Obviously, anything can happen. You always want to make sure that you keep an eye out and have an understanding of what's going on in the macroeconomic landscape as well, particularly when it comes to inflation, for example. Even though Bitcoin has been touted as an inflation hedge, it hasn't quite played out that way in history so far. Maybe over time it will, but at the end of the day, Bitcoin still has done extremely well versus the many fiat currencies, even the US dollar. So when we look at the max drawdowns by year, we're also seeing that the drawdowns are getting lower and lower as we go by year. So we can see that we had in 2018 a major drawdown where it went down over 84% in that year. And we also saw in 2022, once again, a terrible year for the cryptocurrency market where the max drawdown for Bitcoin was 65%. So far in 2025, the max drawdown has been 31%. Could it go lower than that? Obviously, yes, it can. Could we get back down to this 65% or even closer to 84%? That's always a possibility. The last bull market we saw from peak to trough, it was around a 76% drawdown, when we went from 69,000 to around 16,000. So if that were to happen again with that exact percentage drawdown going from 126,000, we could definitely see somewhere in the $30,000 range. Could that happen? That's definitely a possibility. So you want to keep that on your radar. But it looks like we are starting to form and get closer to a bottom. So obviously time will tell. And of course, we're going to keep you posted here on the YouTube of Networkchain. Also, another major news story that came out over the past week. Morgan Stanley, one of the largest asset managers in the world and investment banks, they have approximately 8 million clients throughout their different branches, and they have just launched their crypto trading, and they own E-Trade. They bought E-Trade, I believe it's a couple years ago now that they bought the E-Trade platform, which is a very popular trading platform, and now you can trade crypto on E-Trade. So one of the reasons why we're so bullish on crypto and Bitcoin as a whole is the fact that we're continuing to see, even during this bear market, we're continuing to see development that's happening across the landscape of blockchain technology, and especially when it comes to artificial intelligence, which obviously is one of the biggest emerging markets in the world. We know that blockchain technology will basically work seamlessly when it comes to how it can be used with AI, particularly with AI agents, because they'll be able to trade and invest and do a lot of different things using blockchain technology and Bitcoin and some of the other cryptocurrencies. When we've talked about Robinhood and what they've done with launching their agentic AI platform, and there's also a few other platforms that have launched their agentic AI trading as well. So that's going to continue to be a trend. We're going to see more and more platforms get into or allow for agentic trading on their applications. And so we believe that with that, we're going to see more action when it comes to cryptocurrencies as well. So just make sure to stay tuned with us on X as well as on IG. We really appreciate you checking us out here on YouTube every single week. We thank you so much for watching, and we hope you have a great start to your week and have been having a great summer. Take care, and we look forward to linking up with you soon. Bye-bye.